Good afternoon, spies and spyettes. We just got back from The Amateur, starring Rami Malek. Lawrence Fishburne is a featured extra, and The Punisher's a featured extra, and Lois Lane is a featured extra, and otherwise there's really no one you would know in it. Connor, what's the plot of The Amateur?
Rami Malek is a hacker for the CIA, and he has an informant over in Russia who tells him that his director's up to not the director, but like some executive at the CIA is up to no good, and he says, well, gee whiz. But he doesn't have much time to worry about that because his wife's on a business trip and gets murdered. Strictly out of coincidence. But they figure out who the killers were pretty quick. And then the CIA is like, well, we're not going to do anything. So then he blackmails the person he got dirt on. And they're like, well, that's not nice. And then he leaves to train. And then he flies off to kill the people. And then over the course of the next hour and a half, he slowly kills 3 people. But he also meets up with his Russian connection and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Lawrence Fishburne, who briefly trained him into the CIA, is making chase to try to kill him under orders. Because he's Lawrence Fishburne, and he's under orders. And then at one point, he's in a small town in like Armenia or something. And then the Punisher shows up and he's like, hey buddy, you gotta come home. And he's like, who are you working for? And the guy's like, I'm just trying to be a friend. And he's like, but, and then he like winks at him and pats him on the back, and you're like, uh-oh, Punisher's coming back. But then Rami Malek solves everything and the movie's over. Everything worked out for Rami Malek, and then like the evil corrupt guy goes to jail.
Punisher never appears again.
Punisher never appears again.
He just walks out of the movie.
He walked into the movie. Unknown reasons. Who knows how did he find him? Is he working for the director of the CIA or the counter people that are evil?
Or no one?
Or is he working for no one? Did he just by his own choice track down Rami Malek to give him a foreboding warning? We don't know. We never find out, and we never will. Until The Amateur 2, where he has a new wife who also gets murdered by terrorists by coincidence. And then he has to go all Jigsaw, Tony Todd from Final Destination, or perhaps even Jason Bourne on their ass. It's very HD DVD core. Feels like something you'd pull out of those magenta cases in 2007. You're like, oh shit, do I want to watch Bourne Legacy? Do I want to watch Matrix Reloaded, Blood Diamonds, Batman Begins, not the other 2, or do I want to watch The Amateur?
Yeah.
Those are the 5 releases ever. Or, those are the 4... Oh, Chronicles of Riddick, sorry. Yeah. So it's very... it feels like something that would have come to theaters and been very popular in 2005. But it is 2025 now. It's a different world we live in. So, Aiden, what did you think of Rami Malek in The Amateur?
The Amateur's fine. It's a Prime Video, direct to Apple TV movie in theaters, but not like a direct to Apple TV movie like Killers of the Flower Moon. It's like one of the other ones, like the one about Tom Hanks driving a bus. It's not terrible.
Leonardo DiCaprio canoeing or something like that.
Yep. It's very moderately interesting. And once every 30 minutes there's a kill, and if they weren't in the trailers, at least one of those would have been really cool. The trailer simultaneously spoils the entire movie and kind of lies. The trailer makes this look much more like an action-packed spy thriller than it is, and in reality it's just like Rami Malek looks at a computer screen for 20 minutes and then he kills one person, then he moves on.
It's a procedural.
It's
the same thing that they did with Black Phone a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Black Bag.
Black Bag.
Black Phone's the fucking Stephen King's Son's bad horror movie.
Uma Thurman's husband.
Yeah, and apparently Black Phone 2 is coming out this December for some reason.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. If you've seen the trailer, you've already had the best part rooting for you and know exactly what the story is and what'll happen.
I mean, they speed ran the movie in 20 minutes, or in 2 minutes.
Yeah. Pretty much the only thing you don't get is all the scenes of, like, Rami Malek looking at a computer screen.
Because even the movie is mostly just Rami Malek, a couple actors you never heard of, and the guest stars. And each of the guest stars make their appearance in the trailer. It's like Rachel Brosnan, she's killed. And you see that in the trailer. And then Lawrence Fishburne is like, I don't want to have to kill you, but you're not a killer. And that's what he does in the movie.
Yeah.
And John Bernthal like shows up walking around doing nothing in the trailer, and that's what he does in the movie too.
But then for some reason in the final scene before the credits, Lawrence Fishburne comes back to life, or maybe it's a ghost, I don't know. Or maybe he was just fine after he got shot in the fucking chest and left in Istanbul. And he recovered. And then he came up to Rami Malek and said, "You're a good kid."
I mean, presumably he survived.
I don't know, he saw the ghost of his wife everywhere. Could have been a ghost.
I do like how in the last scene the director of the CIA lady is like, they're like, what about the 3 killings and the arrest or whatever? Was that one of your agents? And she's like,
maybe.
Close enough. Any corruption and unauthorized shit is going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, except Rami Malek. He's
he's a good boy. Deep down.
He's a good boy. Everybody knows he's just a good little boy.
He plays by... I think the director, the CIA, and Rami Malek were playing by Jigsaw rules, where he's like, I've never killed anyone, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they indirectly died because he couldn't swim out of the swimming pool fast enough before it fell 16 stories.
I will give Rami Malek credit. It's like, you know, when he does his Jigsaw thing, it's like, wow, these guys are terrorists that murdered my wife in cold blood and are like arms dealers that have directly and indirectly killed like 1,000 people or whatever, so I'm gonna kill them. Jigsaw's just like, you are a frequent jaywalker, you got a ticket, you paid the fine, and then you just continue to do it. Like, what, do you value your life? Yeah. Alright, you know what? Fine. Since I'm such a nice guy, if you can cut 3 fingers off and 2 toes off. If you're willing to chop your cock off in the next 15 seconds, I'll let you walk into the next trap. But if you do like the 15 preceding traps, like, you're good. Walk out of here.
Rami Malek
I'll even give you a job.
Rami Malek himself never gives the "I've never killed anyone" speech, but the villain does to him. He's like, "You've never really killed anyone. They all could have lived."
You gave him the chance.
You gave him the chance to live.
The one where you
it's like a reverse like Jigsaw situation,
like a fucking tactical nuke from Call of Duty on the guy and just decimated his ass.
It's like a reverse Jigsaw situation where he just really wants to kill people and owns it, and everyone around him is like, "You would never."
Yeah, Rami Malek finally like, maybe I am a killer actually, and everyone's like, "You're a bitch." You're a bitch, Rami Malek.
Yeah. And then for some reason he doesn't kill the 4th guy. I don't know.
The actual killer.
Like, well, it's just like, I'll let him get arrested.
It's kind of the Batman mentality, you know? Like, Batman will indirectly...
I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
Well, yes, that's what he did to the people he killed, but it's kind of like in Batman sometimes, like, if a couple necks get snapped on the way to the Joker, that is what it is. But then Joker gets, like, a bloody nose, and he's like, I'm not gonna kill you because that makes me as bad as you. It's like, dude, you literally were like... Like, especially Michael Keaton's Batman. I mean, obviously Joker died, but he's like, I'm gonna save you, Joker, even though you killed my parents and, like, everybody in Gotham. But a few scenes earlier, brother was driving through with the Batmobile shooting missiles at the warehouse, you know? It's kind of like that, you know?
Ben Affleck's Batman wasn't even that indirect. He was literally just fucking massacring.
You know who's really James Bond with Blofeld? He'll literally just kill anybody along the way. And he gets to Blofeld and he's like, you might have killed my wife, but I'm not going to stoop as low as you. And it's like, when did you get this moral? You literally have a license to kill. Like, just shoot him in the face.
Yeah, James Bond kills hundreds of people per movie.
Yeah, he's like power sliding in. He'll literally like spare Blofeld and then turn around. His wife will be sitting there sweeping the floor or whatever, and Mrs. Blofeld will get brained against the wall, you know? His French maid Felipa, or his Mexican maid.
Yeah, it's a fine movie. It's fine. It's if this came out on Amazon Prime one day and was on the front page for like 3 days and nobody watched it and then it went away, that'd probably fit best for what this movie is. Connor, what'd you think of The Amateur?
Nah, I thought it was fine. There's some really stupid shit, like John Bernthal clearly having his scenes cut. They couldn't have been very functional, because we were talking about it, me and Aiden, in the car, and it's like, we were like, I don't know what could he have really done in this movie. So, like, I get it, but, like, I feel like they paid him, and they're like, well, I guess, like, we gotta, like, we might have cut all the scenes, but we'll have this random ass scene where he just shows up. Like, you didn't need to get John Bernthal. And I know he's not, like, the biggest actor, you know. Lawrence Fishburne's got, like, 10 minutes of screen time, not a ton, but, like,
you could just snip
if you're
John
gonna get, like, a
Bernthal's-
named actor who's, like, starred in a bunch of TV shows and literally is about to co-star with Ben Affleck in a movie next fucking week, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he warrants more than 30 seconds of screen time.
You could literally cut John Bernthal's 2 scenes from this movie and it would not change a thing.
I also feel like maybe they were flirting with the buddy from The Office having a role, but they cut that.
Yeah,
because
that was
there was
weird
the guy
too.
who,
like,
he was like, I can't help you on this one.
when the
or
CIA
something.
director's having them rip up The Office, there's a lingering shot on his buddy from The Office, and then he never appears again.
Well, the guy in Raimi traded some words. Like, the guy would somehow, like, maybe at one point, like, hack the computer and call him and be like, it's hot out here, man. People are looking for you. Like, you think
Yeah,
that's going to be
something
his
like
role, and then he just never paid
he's
off.
just
But, I mean,
not
it's
in
the
the
same
movie.
thing with John Bernthal's, where John Bernthal's like, you saved my life, my man. And then
I
he
can't
runs
even
off,
tell.
and you don't see him again for, like, 90% of the movie. And then
If
he
John
just pops
Bernthal's
up.
scenes in the movie, when I saw John Bernthal in the early scene, I was like, okay, so he's going to be like the twist villain or something.
Yeah.
And then he shows back up and he's like, you better get out of here, kid. And then he never appears again. I can't even tell.
No, I
If
thought...
his scenes weren't cut, would he have been a good guy? Would he have been a bad guy? I have no clue. I genuinely
It's
do
hard to
not
say.
know.
It's really
It
hard
could have
to
gone
say.
either way.
I wonder if, like, the script just changed and they no longer really had a function. I don't know if he's going to be a bad guy because they made a big fucking deal. Rami Malek was sad that they didn't want to be friends, but then he said, look, I appreciate you saving my life that one time. I'll never forget it or something. And he pats him on the back. So then you're like, he's also going to call. Him and the buddy are both going to call separately and be like, it's getting hot out here at the office, buddy. And I guess that kind of happened with John Bernthal. But I figured John Bernthal would, like, show up for, like, a big action shootout at some point in the movie that never came.
Yeah, but then there's also that part where the CIA director's like, we should send someone to help Rami Malek. And Lawrence Fishburne's chasing him down, about to kill him, and some guy slams into him, and you're like, oh, John Bernthal came to save him, and then it's just some random fucking guy.
Yeah.
And then he dies.
Well, no, the director didn't even send someone to save him. They're like, why is Lawrence Fishburne running around by where these guys are getting killed? And then she's like, it must be that one guy who's acting mighty sus in the office, like the main villain. Dude, she's like, well, let's just send a guy out there. And then they're like, 10 minutes later, they're like, wait, who's that on the screen? And then they zoom in, and it's Rami Malek. And then the director lady does this, and it's like, But, like, they don't... but, like, the guy is just some fucking guy to get in a fight scene. And then I like... My favorite part about the conclusion is Lawrence Fishburne, like, brutally murders this guy who's, like, working for the director. So you're like, Lawrence Fishburne's evil. Or, like, he's willing to go too far to, like, do the cover-up or something. But then at the end of the movie, it's like...
well, then the movie acts like John... Like he dies. Like Lawrence Fishburne gets shot and he slumps over, and you're like, okay, he's dead.
I wonder if that was another, like,
and
reshoot.
Then all of a sudden, in the last scene of the movie, literally the last thing that happens, Lawrence Fishburne just hops into Rami Malek's car and says, you did good, kid, and then walks out of the movie.
I mean, it's the last scene. It kind of just fades to black, but yeah, no, he's just alive for no reason, even though the movie definitely telegraphed that he was dead. I think, I'm almost wondering if there was gonna be like, and I wonder if the ending was sadder, like maybe Rami Malek gets killed by the main Istanbul guy, but it was too late because he already called Interpol or whatever, and then Interpol arrests everybody, and then it's like the files got leaked because there really was a dead man switch, like he was implying, and then it's sad or something, and then they reshot it because like the end is just like kind of confusing because like everyone gets arrested, but then like Interpol knows who he is. Like, did he somehow between scenes like get a hold of the CIA director and say like, call Interpol, I'm about to crack this thing wide open? Why would he do that? He thinks everyone's trying to kill him. He's fucking paranoid. Which is what we saw the scene before that when he was talking to John Bernthal. It doesn't make no damn sense.
No, something got rearranged here. I don't know if it was in the edit. I don't know if it was in a late script change. I don't know if John Bernthal was busy with fucking Daredevil, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how this happened.
I think this movie had the potential to be really good if really boring, and it just ended up like it's kind of like kind of got like Rogue One vibes, where it's like you can see where there was some potential, but it's just like you look at it from afar and you're like, it's kind of boring. But then you start to actually really look at it and you're like, what the fuck is even going on when you actually put any thought to it?
Yeah.
The only thing that ever makes sense is when Rami Malek is sitting at the computer typing. When it's like a 1990s movie about a kid who's good at hacking.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry for hijacking your part.
It was literally your part.
Was it mine?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember you passed it to me. Yeah, I mean, it's HD DVD core. Like I said, I mean, it feels like something that would have come out in 2005. And I think, like, the thing that is so memorable about the HD DVD library to me is that I own 90% of it. A total of like 20 movies.
Yeah.
And I have an Xbox Tuner. I can hook up to my Xbox 360 to watch HD DVDs. The problem is I lost the cord, so I probably just need to buy a new one because all the HD DVD players exploded. But I'm pretty intimately knowledgeable with the HD DVD suite of movies, and it's just such a relic of like 2005. There's like certain tropes of 2005 movies. Boring, big stars.
Lawrence Fishburne.
They definitely thought they were cooking. Lawrence Fishburne. And then when push comes to shove, they're mostly just really boring thrillers that aren't very good, that never made an impact, and won't last long. And like, I don't know, I was just watching this and I was like, this feels like it would fit in the HD DVD library just perfectly. It's like, it's very like Blood Diamond or something where you're like, oh yeah, that movie. Like, I'm sure in 10 years, if someone showed me a picture of this movie, if I watched this movie, I would say, oh, I've never seen that before. Because I'm already forgetting the movie and we've been out of the theater for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the core problem with this movie. I think it's shot well enough. I think Rami Malek is... He definitely... Rami Malek is less used, but he's in the same boat as, like... You know, he's not, like, one of those actors that's really gonna try to, like, own a role. Like, when you get Rami Malek, you know what you're getting. You're getting that twitchy little...
They just had him be Mr. Robot again, where he's
Pretty
autistic.
much. He's like a weird... quiet,
and he's like, I don't
tweaky
understand
guy.
humor.
I think Rami Malek's good at like the stuff that Rami Malek did best at was like being sad that his wife was dead, and people are like, and like being like a tweaker paranoid, like they like put him in a bunch of makeup and greased up his face, and then he's like looking around with his big ass eyes and tweaking, and like that's the best parts of the movie. But then you got the core plot that don't work very good. So. I don't know. I thought it was okay. I think if this movie wasn't horrendously reshot, which I can tell it is, or something got really jacked with the script. Like there were a lot of script notes. Because like you wouldn't, there's things that are obvious tells, like the fact that John Bernthal just is not that important, but they casted a whole ass named actor to be in 2 scenes. Like that could have just been fucking anybody.
Be nice.
There's really kind of foreboding energy on either side of the frame.
Are you two hurting each other?
They're doing that. They're fake ignoring each other. But I don't know. That's my opinion on the movie. I don't know. So Aiden, would you recommend The Amateur?
Yeah. Streaming ass movie. I don't even know if I'd stream it. It might be a little too boring for streaming because like when you're streaming shit, you're playing on your phone or like folding laundry or some shit. I don't even know if this movie qualifies for that. I don't think it's terrible.
It's pretty ambient, so
fine.
You can like look up from TikTok when he starts yelling, "You killed my wife! You killed my wife!" And he's got like a weapon in his like a trigger in his hand. I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm not gonna save you either.
Look up from TikTok 3 times.
Then you go back down and Dr. Umar tells you about how segregation is good or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Dr. Umar is really sad that the black dudes date white women.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very serviceable movie. I don't think I'd recommend it now. Connor, would you recommend The Amateur?
I think if certain scenes could have been taken out of this movie and replaced with the scenes that were originally intended to be there, and the movie would have been recommendable as like kind of a boring procedural spy thriller, kind of like Black Bag or something. But as it stands, it's really, really messy, and you can tell some producer higher up kind of broke the film and then
we were also talking about we're talking about trailers in the Black Bag where Black Bag just lies about what it is.
Maybe that was the one, because I know one of them, it was like we were talking about them and then I was like, Novocaine spoiled by the trailer. I said, you know what else is going to be spoiled by the trailer? The fucking Amateur.
Yeah.
Because I was watching that trailer. I think, like, every time I saw it, I was like, this is the whole movie. Yeah. Wife dies, he's just a normal little guy, but then his wife dies, and he's like, well, then I have to kill these guys, and no one believes in me. And then it shows 2 of the 3 kills. I figured there'd be, like, 5 or 6 kills, and I was, like, eye-rolling that they showed a couple, but I was like, whatever. No, the movie was condensed down to a 2.5 minute trailer. So, I mean, I guess I would recommend
it falls in the Novocaine trailer.
I'd recommend when you see you could watch something else this weekend, because you can get like a 2-for-1 deal where you could go to like Minecraft or something, or I guess the trailer probably doesn't run anymore. You could go to youtube.com and watch this movie in 2 minutes. It'll show you the highlights and a lot of the messier stuff that comes with having to stretch this 2-minute trailer into 2 hours.
Just like Novocaine.
It's just not there.
The 3 flavors of trailer. Novocaine, Black Bag, and the Monkey, and this is a Novocaine trailer.
That's right.
It's a feature-length trailer.
Yes, it is. Anyways, catch us next time for the next trailer we review, which is
Warfare.
Warfare with special guest Grant Newkirk.
I think Warfare is going to be a monkey-type trailer.
I mean, there's no way that trailer's the movie. It's just like realistic warfare, and there's a bunch of guys screaming and they're yelling and they're pulling people around. It's just a bunch of white dudes in army uniforms and like
the weird eyebrow
hats
guys
and
there.
shit. Will Forte or whatever. Not Will Ford. Will Porter.
Yeah, Will Porter, the
I
weird eyebrow
fucking
guy.
just don't like his eyebrows. Like
Nobody does. They're weird.
That's why they hired him for We're the Millers.
Dude,
And
if you
I thought
Google
they were
weird
like
eyebrow guy, he literally comes up.
I thought they hired him for We're the Millers because he looked like he got the natural spot. I thought they cut him that way though. And I was like, I am never watching We're the Millers as like this is in like junior high or something. It came out
Weird eyebrow guy.
and everybody
comes up.
Everybody like was watching the movie. Everybody was watching We're the Millers when I was in middle school and like getting blowjobs at that movie or whatever, and everyone's like, "You have to see this movie," and like I have no idea if it's good because I never watched it and I never planned to. I'm sure it's dog shit,
I don't
but
remember why.
I remember there was the character. I think it was
Might
it like
watch
The
it.
Hangover with like mixed with RV with Steve Martin.
No, it's more like it's like RV, but they swear.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay.
and I'm pretty sure that Will Porter like fucks a beehive or something like American Pie,
A Beehive was the one they picked.
something like that, or like a fucking.
At least the
burrito
apple
or
pie is
something.
like its own thing. You're like, okay, they baked the pie and someone says you can fuck it, and you're like, okay, maybe I'll believe that. And then you fuck it and it's scalding hot, so it gives your dick burns. Like the comedy writes itself there. But fucking a beehive, who's convinced? Like,
Yeah, I don't
bro,
remember
go to
what
that
it is.
fucking, go to that.
Or he like jacks off.
go
with,
to
like,
the fucking Iranian
fucking
death hornet
poison
hive and just
ivy or
start.
something. Something happens to his penis.
So
I'm
he's
pretty sure.
he's doing something that it was really stupid. But I saw his eyebrows and I was like,
I
this
think I
is
saw
like
that movie
some
with Dad
spot.
for some reason.
Yeah.
Not like in a theater, like at home at some point with Dad.
It seems, yeah. Well, Dad also, I think this is when you lived in Superior, but Dad started having theories about the movie Moana, and he would just, he would just watch Moana every day, like 4 times a day,
Yeah.
and then porn at full volume. Moana and porn. What's it? Name a better duo. Anyhow. I do recommend you watch Moana and porn. If you're looking for conspiracies at the Target Pharmacy. Anyhow. Honestly, awesome-tacular.
Awesome-tacular.
Put up the graphic. I don't know if Jeremy Johns has ever done a graphic or if he does, but this movie is awesome-tacular.